Then one day, as you saw on Schindler's List, and the dogs ordering Jews out in the middle of the night, for me, the most horrendous scene, because this is how we were ordered out of the house for the last time, into the marketplace. As in Poland, it was called Umschlagsplatz. And we were lined up, and the death march began. The rabbi carried a Torah. The men were all wrapped in a tallis, as they knew they're going to die. That was their shroud. And sick people were carried on boards. Everybody lined up, and the march was to begin. And I remember someone asking, "Where are we going?" And the gendarme would say, "To a place of no return." Whoever couldn't walk, they shot. The scene was as follows. The gendarmes had wagons with food and drink and blankets. And they marched us and marched us and marched us, and those who couldn't continue were shot or kicked with a boot,
How many
smashed
people?
their heads in.
How large a march? How many people can you
The
estimate?
entire city. I have no idea.
A couple of thousand,
The
perhaps?
entire city.
Mhm.
But our ranks diminished very quickly. My mother ordered us to walk in the middle, always in the middle. On the side, it was too dangerous. I remember the beginning of the march. Suddenly, a German car stopped. The windows open, and guns on each side of the window. And the Germans ordered my family to stop. And they said that I wasn't Jewish. My braids were never cut. I was blonde as the corn, as the hair of the corn. Blonde, white almost.
More so than your brothers and sisters.
More so. My twin sisters were blonde, but I was the blondest. And Giselle tells me, says, every time I came home, I saw this Schicksale in your family, and I couldn't understand what was going on. And they wanted to take me away. My family pleaded and cried and wept, fell on their knees. And finally, the German one said to the other, "Lassen Sie." I knew that I was destined to die. Now here I must tell you that most of my friends succumbed to disease. I remember watching people's faces, something that I do to this very day, and judging who was evil and who was less evil, and who seemed like a not fair, not bad person. One of the people who was driving the wagon didn't look so bad. He never did anything bad to anyone on the death march. And I went over to him, I remember, and I pulled his coat. And he looked at me. He says, "Little girl, what do you want?" And I said to him, "I want to live." He says, "What do you want from me?" He says, "I want you to put me in your wagon. I can't walk another step. Otherwise, you may as well shoot me." And I can't believe it to this day that he picked me up, put me in the wagon, put some blankets around me. And this is how I survived the death